Welcome into what is a rough Sunday morning in the state of Oklahoma. Wow. And it's a rough Sunday morning because Saturday night was not good. Saturday night was very bad. Oklahoma loses to Tennessee 25 to 15, and well, it felt like it could have been about 45 to 15 if Tennessee really wanted it to be. Just offensively, a terrible night from Oklahoma, and that's the story. That's what we're talking about walking away from this one. Just not good enough. Not good enough on the offensive side. Just incredibly disappointing that you've got a defense, you've got a special defense, and it feels like you're wasting it right now with the offensive performances that you're getting. I don't know what this offense does well. I don't know what this offense is trying to do through 4 games. We are a third of the way through the regular season, and I'm still sitting here one day after the SEC opener trying to figure out what this offense does well, what it's trying to do, what it does best, where the big plays are at, where the big time players are at. It's just it's a rough day. Rough day. Not what you were looking for last night. So many places to start. I am going to jump in with the good. It was a tough game last night. I know some of you already in the chat. Drop your comments. What did you think about last night? What are your answers? What do you do moving forward here as a football team and especially as an offense? But I want to start with the good before we get to everything else. That defense is special. And, I really hyped up this defense going into the season. I played some clips on past live streams saying, look, I think OU has a chance to be the better defense in every single SEC game it plays this year. And I haven't backed down on that throughout the entire season. And I'm not backing down after last night. I know Tennessee's defense held OU to under 100 yards after 3 quarters, but let's be honest, the Tennessee offense and the OU offense are on completely different planets right now. This OU defense is special, guys. It's really good. It's everything that me and some others hyped it up to be before the year. And you saw it last night. They can't help their defense out, man. They're getting the turnovers. They're getting the stops. This defense is good enough to win you a lot of games. This defense is good enough to get you to the college football playoff. I'll do you one better. With just an okay offense, that defense is good enough to win you a national championship. That's how good I think that defense is. But I think we all know what the problem is right now. You can't help out your defense. You can't play complementary football. You can't take advantage of mistakes. You really can't do anything on the offensive side right now. I mean, that atmosphere early in the game last night was incredible in the stadium. Incredible. And the defense just gave that team so many opportunities for that place to just go insane and go take the lead in the first half. Last night's incredibly disappointing. And I put it out on social media last night. And I think maybe the most disappointing thing about last night is the fact that, once again, there's a narrative with Oklahoma, and unfortunately it exists across the country Oklahoma gets into a big game, playoff or not, whatever, it's a big game, it's Oklahoma, they're ultimately gonna fail. And you had an opportunity last night to prove the entire country wrong. You had an opportunity last night to say, hey, no one's talking about her as a contender in the SEC. Watch this. We're going to beat Tennessee in front of a national audience and declare to everyone we are, in fact, one of the better teams in the SEC. We are a college football playoff caliber team. You had that opportunity. You had the stage. You had the entire country watching last night. The entire college football world, the entire sports world was on Norman, Oklahoma last night in your game. And you proved everyone right once again. When is this program going to stop proving everyone right? When is that going to happen? When is this program going to get on the big stage in a program like the SEC and bully someone around? The defense is good enough to do that. OU lost the game last night. OU lost the game by double digits. And honestly, they're lucky that they only lost by 10 points last night. I think Tennessee really was like, all right, we're going to go up. We get 3 scores. We could really continue to push it offensively, but they can't score 3 more times, so we'll just play it pretty conservative. I'm not taking anything away from the OU defense. I thought that they were fantastic. All I'm saying is OU's probably lucky that game was only 25 to 15. But you just had all these opportunities, and you did nothing with it. I'm incredibly disappointed. incredibly disappointed with what I saw on Saturday evening. How could you not be? I think Michael Hawkins is your quarterback moving forward. I think he's got to be at this point, but Jackson Arnold was just bad, guys. And he had 3 turnovers last night. And I agreed with the change at quarterback. I thought that maybe even a series or 2 earlier, you should have made that move. Because it wasn't just the fact that Jackson Arnold had, 3 turnovers last night. It was how bad those turnovers were. The interception that he throws, you can't throw that ball. If nothing else, you've got to throw that away. Get rid of the football there. And he had time, and he had protection, too. And he still made that bad play. And then the fumble right after you get it inside in the red zone after that was a killer. And then, of course, his last turnover, which he basically just short hops it to a receiver, I believe is on an RPO play that he should have kept anyway. They weren't just turnovers last night, it was bad turnovers. And I say I don't know where you go offensively. I mean, I do. You go with number 9, the true freshman Michael Hawkins here moving forward. But, again, it's just that is a good defense, man. That is a really good defense. Oh, you lost the game by 10 points, and I come out of that game saying, dang, man, you've got a special, special defense. And I might have said it a couple weeks ago, my biggest fear with this team since about week 2 is you're going to waste what is your best defense in 15 years. And look, as long as Brent is here moving forward, do I think Oklahoma will continue to have really good defenses? Yeah, I do. And I think that'll continue to be the strength of this program is what they have on the defensive side. But at the same time, it's not going to be every single year where you got a guy like Danny Stutzman coming back for another year. It's not every single year you're going to have a guy like Billy Bowman coming back for another year. So you will be good defensively in the years coming, but this could be your best defense that you have for a while because Stutzman and Bowman came back, and they're such good players. Sooner Cowboys, OU has a long way to go. OU defense can be dominant, but OU still has Texas, Bama, Ole Miss, Missouri, and LSU. Yeah, and that's a tough realization too. It's not that we forgot about the schedule, but look, guys, I know that you were a 7-point dog. I know that no one nationally picked you to win this game. Heck, on game day yesterday, everyone up there picked Tennessee to win the game outside of your guest picker who lives in the state of Oklahoma. But you got to protect your home field in this league. You have to, and you only get 3 of them in Norman. You could not waste an opportunity to win a game at home. So now you still got 7 more games in the SEC, and only 2 of those are in Norman. They've got to figure it out, and they got to figure it out in a hurry. In no way do I expect this offense all of a sudden, even with Michael Hawkins, to turn into an offense that we say is that's a pretty good offense. I think they're going to struggle throughout the year, and this defense is going to have to carry them. And what terrible news last night about Kendall Dolby. God, that sucks, man. Having an excellent year. He's an excellent player. Just an unfortunate night all the way around. Nemo says, morning, Tyler. After watching the game last night, left me with more positive thoughts. I know the defense is for real, and with Hawkins at quarterback is good enough at least 8 games. Boy, I'd take 8 right now, and I wouldn't even think I wouldn't even blink. You offer me 8 wins right now? Are you kidding me? I'll take that in a heartbeat. Here's your real issue right here. I mean, they got a lot of issues offensively. I think it's everywhere, but 34 carries for 36 yards. Hawkins was your leading rusher. Jackson Arnold was your leading rusher going into this game, and then Michael Hawkins, a quarterback's your leading rusher in this game. I mean, Tatum, 3 carries for 14 yards. I still think he needs more carries than that. Barnes had 8 for 12. Sawchuk had 2 carries for -2. I mean, they just those are bad, guys. Just the amount of negative plays, the sacks. Oh boy. And yeah, like Sooner Cowboy says, you still got a really tough schedule coming up with some really good teams, a lot of top 10 teams. If Oklahoma just had a mediocre offense, they easily win that game. I agree with that, Bram. And I was thinking that in the first half. It's the defense was trying. They were trying everything. Here is the ball. Okay, we know you guys can't go the length of the field. So here is the football in the red zone. Go do something with it. And they couldn't even get points. They turned it over on the very next play. It's just the defense can only do so much, and we saw it last night. And it's one thing to be an offense that can't run the ball, that can't hit on big plays, that can't score a whole lot of points. It's one thing to be an offense like that really can't move the ball consistently or score. It's another thing to be handed opportunities and give them right back to the opposing sideline. And the defense is trying to give you momentum. The defense gave you momentum last night several times, and that's massive. In a home game where it was as packed as it was last night, all the energy that was there, man, this is college sports. This is college football. The momentum swings in this game, there's not another sport out there that has the momentum swings for a home team like college football has. And that momentum swing that you got after those 2 turnovers in the first half, incredible, man. Everyone's like, here we go, here's our chance, here's our opportunity, only for you to give it to them, the ball back to them right away. So it's one thing to be a bad offense. It's another thing to not take advantage of the situations that you're given and consistently put the defense in terrible spots. And that's what this offense does. Not only can it not play complementary football, it puts the defense in terrible spots and in terrible situations. I'm a little frustrated, as you can't tell. The problem for offense starts with the O-line. Yeah, Arnold had a horrible game, but they failed to address a huge issue. And it starts with number 70. Too many times you see him or somebody else not blocking anybody. Yeah, they're not any good on the offensive line. And I was, with the lineup they threw out last night, I guess I was hopeful that could be a solid offensive, not a great offensive line, not one of the better offensive lines in the SEC, but it could be, you could work with that. Like, that offensive line can do some things. It can have some sort of a run game. It could do some things in the pass game. They just got handled last night, man. Again, look at these numbers. 34 carries, 36. I mean, that's just bad. What was your longest run of the night? 17 yards by Barnes, and you didn't have a ball carry over 25 yards. Guys, this offense had 98 yards at the end of the third quarter. 98 yards. And I know it felt like it, but, jeez, it's bad right now. 7-5, I don't see us winning any more games or having about a record more than 7-5. What's your thoughts? I mean, that's probably where I'd pick them right now, I guess. I mean, I'm still so wrapped up in what the heck are they trying to do on offense? What are they going to be moving forward? Again, I think you got to start Michael Hawkins next week. I don't think you have a choice up to this point. With the offensive line that you have that's not very good, at least he can get outside the pocket and do some things. At least you can have that. At least he led you on a touchdown drive last night. At least he did that. But 7-5, yeah, I mean, can they go on the road and beat Auburn next week? I mean, Auburn's already lost 2 home games to Arkansas and Cal. Maybe you go on the road and win that. Texas is going to be – look, I've been going to that game for, 20 years now. I know that's a game in itself, but the way this offense is playing right now, they're going to have a really tough time beating one of the better teams in the SEC. So, Gregory, if you want to go 7-5 there, I tend to agree with you. Again, someone said 8 earlier. Oh, my God, would I take 8 wins? Oh, man. Larry says, how in the world could the offensive coaches watch Jack Snortle since the bowl game last year and not know what they had? You know what? In the bowl game, too, it's just so interesting. Because was last night frustrating? Well, yeah, clearly last night was frustrating. But is anyone really surprised by what we saw offensively last night? Like, regardless if you're the doom and gloomer, sunshine pumper, whatever, could we all not see that potentially happening last night going into the game? Like, there wasn't a whole lot going into the game last night that really made us believe that, hey, this offense has got a chance to do something really special against a good defense. I was hoping that they could just be good enough, just take advantages of the opportunities the defense gives them. Clearly, they didn't do that, but I'm disappointed. I'm mad about last night. Am I shocked? No, because if we were looking at this objectively, we could have seen this coming because this offense in no way has been consistent. But I say all this to say that, Larry, is that I haven't seen them hit on big plays. At least I saw them hit on big plays last year in the Alamo Bowl, and that's what surprises me. Jack Snortle was slinging it down the field. He was being aggressive. He made some very costly mistakes, but at least they had a vertical passing game. At least they were able to attack a secondary down the field. A pretty good Arizona defense, by the way. It looks nothing. This offense looks nothing like it did against Arizona. And I know that they lost the game, and I know that they had some costly turnovers, but at least you did some good things offensively. At least you hit on some big plays in that game. They are nowhere near even the offense that they were against Arizona last year with the makeshift offensive line. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But the kid doesn't have a whole lot of confidence right now. And again, the turnovers that he had were bad. They were just bad. And I don't think you can start him next week. And I don't think that they will start him. OU should beat Maine, but huge questions about the rest of the SEC schedule. Auburn has a lot of issues, but OU could have more. Got to address the O-line play. Coach Beadenbow is failing this team this year. That's fair. I mean, if you want to be critical about Bill Beadenbow and the offensive line, I think that that's totally fair. And look, I understand that they're beat up. I get it. But Oklahoma's not the only team in college football that's beat up. Far from it, actually. And this is the University of Oklahoma, where you are routinely right now recruiting in the top 10. You can address issues right now in the transfer portal. There is zero excuse to be this bad on the offensive line and just this bad offensively with no true identity. It's not okay. It's unacceptable. And you have a defense that can do some special things and a defense that can win you a lot of games, and it just sucks. It sucks. I thought earlier this week that this game, for better or worse, would really set the tempo for the entire year. You win the game last night, then it's like, okay, hey, 4-0, huge win, biggest home game in a long time. Now you can go on the road and win at Auburn, then you got a bye week to regroup a little bit, then let you go into the Texas game 5-0. A lot of ifs there. But I thought if you lose your first ever SEC game, and I didn't envision it being in the style that you lost it, that, man, maybe things moving forward are going to be really tough for you. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. This defense is going to have to play at the level it did last night for this team to be competitive on a week-in, week-out basis, because that offense in an SEC game is not going to go win you a game. They're just where they're at right now. Unless Hawkins is a star, and maybe Michael Hawkins turns into a star at quarterback, I hope that's the case. But look, there's only so much even he can do when he's not getting any help at receiver, he's not getting any help at tight end, he's not getting any help from the offensive line in the run game. Like, I think the kid's talented too. I like him too. But we can't expect him to be the savior of this offense when the pieces around him are not consistent. That's unrealistic expectation. I think that he can be better. I think Michael Hawkins can be better than what you've had offensively. But to automatically think a true freshman's going to save this offense, I don't think is accurate, man. I think you're setting yourself up for failure if you think that way. 4-8 season. I do think they'll win more than, 4-8 season means you go winless in the SEC. Heads will roll around here if that's the case. BV seemed frustrated with repeated issues on offense. Is Luttrell able to bring this offense together? We're about to find out, Jeff. We are about to find out if he is able to bring this offense together. Now, Luttrell's getting a lot of blame, and rightfully so. He is the offensive coordinator. But I think Brent Venables should be getting some blame as well. He's the head coach. He made this hire. You are the head coach, and I know that he is a defensive guy. But let's not act like he didn't know anything about offense. Brent Venables knows, about offense. And if you're the head coach and the offense looks like this, well, Brent, put more say, get more involved with the offense, and maybe he is. But as much as Luttrell is getting hammered today and last night, and again, he should, but I think you got to blame the head coach as well. He's the one that made that hire. And if he really wants things fixed offensively, then he needs to get in that. He needs to be a part of that change. The interception that Arnold threw, he had Burks wide open for a touchdown, yeah. That was a bad – he had time. It's just a bad play. Just a bad play all around. 8-4 season. I've said it all off season. Oh, you got to right the ship with the offense to get there, though. Well, what's the answer to that? Like, that's what's most concerning to me on this Sunday is, okay, yeah, the offense has got to get better. And in some world where the offense does get better and a lot better, this team can really make a run and win a lot of games. But I don't know, what's the answer to getting better? I don't know what that is. Nick Anderson tried to give it a go last night. Clearly he's not 100%. When is he going to be back? I don't know. And I don't think necessarily that he just changes everything for you offensively. I don't know what the fix is. I don't know where you go from here. I don't know the change that magically gets this offense into space where it's really good. I don't know if that exists is what I'm saying. And that's what I'm having the most issues with today is, normally after a loss, you can regroup a little bit. Hey, here's what they need to do moving forward. I think this offense is what it is, unfortunately. Don't know what the fix is. I mean, Burks has kind of been. Was Burks really even a factor last night? Is I'm going to pull up the stats from last night. I mean, you just had no big plays whatsoever. Pettaway had the longest play of the night, and you really did nothing in the pass game outside that. What did Burks have last night? Pettaway had 3 catches for 79. Burks had 4 catches for 32. That ain't going to do it. Like, if Burks is held under 35 yards, this offense is – I think that's your one big playmaker you have. Maybe Tatum is that guy. Maybe we see him a little bit more. But there's just not a whole lot of playmakers on this offense. Not a whole lot of big plays, guys. There's been no development with anybody in the offense the last 3 games. And I was going to bring that up too. It's, again, this goes back to, was anyone really surprised last night offensively? I mean, at least a part of you had to at least think that there was a possibility that could happen last night, right? And this offense has not gotten any better. I know they faced a good defense. That was a really good defense and a really good defensive line they faced. But where's the growth been? Again, we are a third of the way through the regular season. They have played 4 football games all at home. And they don't look any better today. They didn't look any better last night than they did game 1. And I know it's, patchwork offensive lines and they haven't been able to get continuity. But, man, this offense doesn't look like it's improved at all. And that's a problem. That's an issue. It's an issue. I hope Jackson Arnold gets back, man. The confidence right now can't be great. Josh, as a Tennessee fan, I want you guys to do better. I believe we're instant rivals, but not hateful rivals. I hate Bama, Georgia, Florida, etc., and I'm ready to settle who is the real UT. Hey, Tennessee fans, maybe not so much on the internet, but the Tennessee fans that made the trip to Norman, and wow, were there a lot of Tennessee fans in Norman last night. Great fans. Tailgated with a bunch of them. Awesome fans. Got contact information for next year to go out to Neyland and hang out with some Tennessee fans. Good people for sure. Good people for sure. And they got a heck of a football team. That Tennessee team, I'm not saying that this should make you feel any better. And I don't want it. I don't think it should. But that Tennessee team, I think, is going to the college football playoff. I think they're really good. And they struggled at times offensively last night because of that OU defense. You're not going to see very many games this year where Tennessee has under 400 total yards. OU held that Tennessee offense to under 350 total yards. That probably won't happen again this year. And that's only going to anger me more as the season goes on when I see Tennessee, hey, they had 520 yards tonight. Hey, they had 600 yards tonight. And you held them to under 350 yards, and you still not even didn't win the game. You really weren't that competitive for the majority of the game. OU needs to play EPL, Akinkumi, and maybe Brooks on the offensive line. The O-line has been horrible through three games. Yeah, I don't think Daniel Akinkumi's ready. EPL and Eugene Brooks are, I think, a lot more ready at this point than Daniel Akinkumi is, but you got to do something. You cannot continue to do, moving forward, what you've been doing. You just can't. But I don't know. Is that going to be better? I mean, how many true freshmen are already playing right now? You already got a true freshman quarterback. You already got a couple of true freshman wide receivers that were out there last night. You already got a true freshman running back. Is the answer just to play a lot of true freshmen this year? I mean, maybe it is, but dang, they are already playing so many first-year guys on the offensive side. Welcome to the show, Sooners. Now, go whip those Barners. Yeah, I hope so. Auburn's not. Next week is, oh my gosh, is it a must-win? And look, I'm not sitting here right now having any conversations about college football playoff. No. We are not talking about college football playoff. I'm just talking about, for this season not to be a disaster, next week you have to win. In terms of talent level of teams that you play, Auburn's probably the worst team in the SEC that you're going to play this year. Now, it's going to be on the road, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult than maybe South Carolina coming to your place, but if you are 0-2 in SEC play, you lose next week, then you got to play Texas, and then Ole Miss and Missouri and Bama and LSU, everyone else on the schedule. I mean, next week is a must-win for this not to be a disaster. You got to win next week. Jackson Arnold being a young person in this program, the thinking was maybe in fall camp to go up against that defense, probably stunted his development. I understand the thinking may have been he won't face that. Yeah, I don't know. We always hear the line that going against that defense makes him better, but the The turnovers he had last night were just bad. It's not the fact that he just turned the ball over. They were bad turnovers. The interception, can't excuse it. The fumble, it cannot happen when you get the momentum. And then the last turnover was the worst one. It was the worst one. Again, that's just, I'm not saying that that's a super easy throw, but it's one of the more easier throws that you, like, that is an easy throw for your quarterback to make. That's why you run that play. You're trying to get a guy out in open space, just trying to throw it out there for an easy throw and an easy completion. And even that turned into a turnover. Just not great, man. And look, Jackson Arnold's getting a lot of criticism. I think that that's fair. But what do you expect when the situation around him is what it is right now? I don't think he's your best option at quarterback at this point. I think Michael Hawkins is, but if you're going to sit here today and blame it all on the quarterback, I think that that's unfair. I think everyone is to blame. And 2 weeks ago today, I sat here and said, you know what? I wish it was one thing. I wish it was just the quarterback. I wish it was just the wide receivers. I wish it was just the offensive line. Guess what? 2 weeks from that show, I wish it was just the quarterback. I wish it was just the offensive line. I wish it was just the receivers. It is everything offensively right now. I like Bauer Sharp. I think he's a good player. He had a huge drop on third down last night. That would have been a big first down. It's everything. It's everyone. Gregory, it's plain and simple. They absolutely cannot run the football. That's your biggest issue. And if you can't find any sort of run game moving forward, you're going to have a lot of issues. I mean, that number's just bad. It's not bad. I mean, it's just bad. What up, Ken? Hawkins is a baller. Before you sell the farm and put it on Hawkins, understand that Tennessee's defense adjusted and played conservative against him. Contain, not give up the big play. Yeah, I think Tennessee really went conservative just kind of overall there in the second half. Ken, you guys got a good football team. I don't think you need me to tell you that. I think that you can see for yourself. Look, I'm not ready to necessarily sell the farm on Hawkins. I just think that he's your best option right now moving forward. I think he's the best quarterback that you got with the situation that you have. Because like I said just a few minutes ago, in no way now do I expect this offense just to kick it up to another gear and kick it up to another notch. Like, he is a true freshman. He's about to play in some really tough SEC environments. He's about to play away from home his next couple of games. I think he's better than Jackson Arnold right now. But again, in no way do I think he single-handedly fixes this offense. Jeff, I have not heard about those two things. Let me get back to you on that one. OU's defense played lights out. We could not run like we wanted to. Is that Go Big Orange? Is GBO? I feel like GBO is Go Big Orange. A lot of Tennessee fans in here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're good. And that Tennessee offense is really good. Brew McCoy is a very nice player. Brew! I heard that all night long last night at the stadium after he hit on a big play. I mean, Tennessee just hit on a handful of big plays, and that's a big play offense. That OU run defense is legit, man. It's not just the backers. It's not like I came into this year saying this is the best linebacker core you've had in a long time. It's the best secondary you've had in a long time. That's the best defensive line you've had in a long time, too. Like, you paid Dominic Williams a lot of money for a reason, and he's shown up. Jaden Jackson has shown up. That defensive line is good. Again, Tennessee had less than 350 total yards. That ain't going to happen again this year. They still play Georgia. They still play Alabama. Tennessee will have more than 350 total yards offensively against both of those teams. I bet OU holds Tennessee to its lowest number of yards all season long. Weren't able to do anything with it. And you're lucky that it was 25-15. Tennessee could have won by a lot more. It requires a Baker or like Mahomes feeling your own quarterback like mentality that even if I have to go out there by myself, I'm going to win this game or die trying. Hopefully Hawkins has that mentality. Hopefully he has that. Number 70 on O-line is horrible, bro. Not as bad as Spencer Brown, but he is bad. This O-line couldn't block a Pee Wee flag football team. TJ Hamilton, Seth was calling horrible plays all game. Yeah, if this continues to go the way that it looks like it's going, I'll be fascinated to see if there's a decision at the end of the year. I mean, you can't continue to move forward like this. The right quarterback is the one who takes the field, and there's just a feeling, the one that says he has the Sooner magic. Need something. Next week is a big, big week. Next week is a big week. Ken says, I don't think you'll have that much problem beating Auburn. Easy there, Ken. That's not the vibes I'm looking for right now, all right? With that offense, it's going to be tough to beat anyone in the SEC. Nothing's guaranteed, man. Nothing's guaranteed.
What up, Chase? In 3 years, BV's built this defense to what it is now, but a really good coach wouldn't allow this offense to drop to this level. It's Michael Hawkins' team now, and we just need to lose the F and J forever. Yeah, it's just Jackson Arnold now. It's just J.A. No JFA. It's just J.A. Let me get you a few more comments before I get out of here. OU ain't in a good spot with the offense. It's horrible. If Hawkins starts, do we win? I don't think so, Jeff. And for me to say that, I think is disrespect to Tennessee. I got a lot of respect for Tennessee. If you haven't seen it, go watch that video with Josh Heupel after the game. I think it was Nico that gave him the game ball. It's pretty cool. Sucks that it had to happen against you. Sucks. But no, I absolutely think that Tennessee still wins this game if Michael Hawkins starts. I hope so. Hope so, Dan. Hope that's the case. Hawkins to Petaway. That was your biggest play of the night by far. Wasn't even close. OU offense could be the worst in college football. Definitely the worst in the SEC. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Auburn's pretty bad. Wow. What's the over-under next week? Talk about an ugly football game that I will be at in Auburn, Alabama next week. Yikes. I got to go watch my bad baseball team, the Atlanta Braves, on Friday. Then I got to go watch two bad offenses on Saturday. Wish me luck. Yeah. All right. Oh, you will lose 5 more games in the SEC this year. Go Vols. Don't kick us while we're down. Are you serious? Just enjoy the win. Enjoy the win. Come on. You guys have been cool. Kick us while we're down. OU needs to play 2 to 3 freshmen on the offensive line. I think if Hawkins starts, at least we look better even if we lose. Agree with that. Oklahoma screaming, the sky is falling. I understand you just played one, if not the best SEC teams in the country. It's just the way the offense looks. I mean, you watch college football, clearly. You can say that ain't a good offense, man. Not a good offense. All right, I actually got to get out of here. My wife's waiting on me to go to lunch here, so I'm just going to roll through some comments. I actually need to get good transfer on the offensive line instead of from smaller schools and get some money in the NIL. Tennessee beat you on one of those guys, Lance Hurd. He didn't play yesterday, but that's one of the guys you're talking about from LSU, the former 5-star. I thought that was going to be I think it was big that Hurd didn't play yesterday, but it didn't matter in the overall score. OU won't win a single conference game. Love the positivity. OU might beat South Carolina, maybe. Oh, what a fun Sunday this is. What a fun Sunday stream. Jackson just doesn't have the it factor. Our defense was elite. There is no quarterback controversy. Hawkins is a starter. I agree with that. All right, I really got to go, guys. I wish I could stay here for like 45 minutes. Tennessee fans, thanks for hopping in. If you didn't subscribe, go ahead. A lot of college softball content on this. You guys are good at college softball. Best of luck the rest of the year, man. Root for Josh Heupel. Wish him the best. You guys got a cool fan base. Hope you come back in the chat. We'll talk a lot more SEC football, a lot more OU football. And for those of you that made the trip to Norman, I hope you had a good time. I think that we showed you guys a good time. Jeez, you guys are lighting up the comments, man. Sad thought is we're wasting our elite. Yeah, I agree. All right, I really got to go. Wife's probably mad at me. I'll talk to you later this week. Appreciate everyone that hopped in the chat. Have a great Sunday. Try to have a great Sunday. Got to get better on offense. Got to do it in a hurry.